Hello and welcome to another episode with Quick Chat Psychic Medium Chantel Miranda. Hope everyone's had a good week. It's very hot here in Queensland and I'm loving it. I love hot weather. I don't know, I think it just makes my mood happier. You know how some people go with the weather and depending how it is, it's a mood thing. I totally agree with that. I can't do cold. I get really grumpy, angry, and I just want to stay in bed. Anyway, hello to all those viewers, all those who are joining us. Today, I have a very beautiful, special guest. Now, I've got a pleasure to say that, I've had the opportunities to meet her a couple of times, and just her aura, her essence, the way she is as a person, it just draws you right in. Okay, we all have different things, and hers, I can't explain it. The thing is that she actually is an animal intuitive communicator. She actually engages and does animal intuitive, if you want to call it that way. You can see her in a lot of expos, and she's also doing her own business. Look, I haven't spoken to Donna properly in about 3 years. So when I did ask her if she could be a special guest on my podcast, she was so happy to do so. And I am so grateful to her because I know she is going through a tough time at the moment, family issues. And her mother passed away not long ago, and there's a lot of things there, but she was still ready to jump on. So I thank you in advance, Donna, just before you come and do your presentation and talk to us. I also want to let you know that this weekend there is a few markets going on if you guys want to go and check them out, and I'll talk to you about that in the end, and also about what I'm doing at the Gold Coast and all those live psychic medium shows. All right, guys, without any further notice, let's precipitate and let's bring beautiful Donna. Where's Donna? Hello. There she is. Hi, Donna. How are you, beautiful?
Very well, thank you. My goodness, thank you for such a incredible introduction.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's the honest truth. Like your energy. I mean, everyone I met, we all have different energies, but yours was that little bit extra. Now I understand why. You're like what's it called? Dr. Doolittle, the one that talks to the animals. Give me 2 seconds. Go on. Is it like that?
Absolutely. What it is, it's hard to that's part of my moniker on Instagram actually, is Donna Doolittle. But what it is literally we're all capable of doing this, and it's really interspecies communication because we're animals too. And a lot of people go, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I believe like when we were born, we all have intuitive abilities. We absolutely do. And the only thing differing me from your average person is I work this muscle every day. I take this muscle to the gym every day. So therefore, if I'm walking past, and at the moment we've got curlews and peacocks on the island, and as soon as I hear them, I get the tingles, and each animal that we meet has a totem perspective to them. But also our individual animals have soul contracts with us as well, and they're helping us with our soul evolution. So when I'm tuning in, it's really cool.
What I'll ask, Donna, first of all, sorry to interrupt, I just want to, if you can introduce yourself. Who are you and where you're from? And when you say the island, are we talking about the Gilligan Island here or what? Which island?
Very similar. We've got maroon. No, I'm on a little island off Brisbane now called Cuchimudlo Island. So I was in the Northern Rivers. We were on 100 acres and we had all these animals around us all the time. And still, obviously, animals all around us here as well. And also in the water, I love connecting with the ocean animals. So that was part of the thing that drew me here. So my name's Donna. I'm an animal psychic, pet psychic, animal intuitive, also mediumship with that as well. So I connect with animals that have passed or animals that are still living with us. Also, I do psychic medium readings as well. And that's along the lines of I've always gone, no, I just want to focus on the animals. And then all of a sudden I'll have this reading and a human comes through and it's like, right. So that's why I've kept those two things going. And so far as the intuitive healing goes, I've done Reiki now since the late 90s. And so we were some of the very first people, and, you know, it was always a big joke, what is Reiki and what have you. But then about 6 years ago, I went to New York and worked with Kathleen Prasad, and she's the godmother of animal Reiki. So learning under her, yeah.
I'm ready to have you here on my little chat.
No, absolutely.
Wow, that's awesome. Hey, and before you started and we get further into this, let's start with step one, all right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you start all this? What were you doing beforehand? What was your life like? What did it look like? Take us through that journey. For others who are listening and are feeling the same, it's good to give a bit of, normality. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, sure. No worries at all. So when I was very little, I had a lot of intuition, and as I've grown through, as animals and humans within my family pass, they actually sort of come through to me. So it's like a sense of soul midwifery, if you will. But then I went on to work in a career in hospitality for 25 years. And I kind of worked with at-risk youth, long-term unemployed. I worked in really swanky hotels. I worked in as a trainer and a teacher. So that's where I got to, I guess, learn to train and help people with the skills I use now. So yeah, I work a lot of that into how I work in this field as well.
So you did restaurant? Were you like a chef?
Yeah. I am a chef by trade, and I've worked in the Hyatt down in.
Everybody comes with different walks of life. Like, hello, a chef.
Well, absolutely, and it was what let me travel as well and meet all sorts of people and animals, and just really. It was a good place to meet people from all walks of life. So I feel comfortable around people from all walks of life to some degree as well.
So I'm just intrigued. Oh, okay. So you're doing all this chef work, you're traveling around, and you did Reiki for 18, 19 years prior to that. When did the animal, when did you start hearing the voice of a dog saying, hey, feed me? Hey, I'm thirsty. Horse. I don't like the hay. When did this happen? Yeah.
In all fairness, I had that when I was a child, and I always loved hearing animals because they were really authentic in the way they communicated. Because as you say, if they were thirsty, they got a drink. Whereas humans would say something, but what they would do would be different. So I've always found animals really easy to read because they're honest, they're forthright, and all their actions are really, it's just a whole. So I had it back then. And then as I was coming to the end of sort of chefing, and I was working a couple of odd jobs, and I was getting to the point where I was like, I don't want to, this isn't me anymore. And I don't want to get jaded and be one of those people in hospitality and get to the end and go, oh, damn it, I didn't do anything else. And I'd actually asked the universe, I said, now, please just show me what I'm meant to do next. I know it isn't this, and I know I've got a purpose. And I was in the library, and I kid you not, a book came off the shelf and landed at my feet. And that was P. Horsley, who I've worked with, and she's from the UK. And she's an animal communicator. And when I got her book, I opened it, I started reading it, and I think I stopped reading at about 3:30 in the morning, and I had to go to work at 5:30. But I had goosebumps head to toe going, oh, this is it. This is what I'm meant to do. This is what I'm meant to do. So
I love it. I love the way this happens to us when we are awakening. Just ask, you will get.
And then I had stepped in.
And then you went to Chicago, you met her. I just love it. Did you ever have any doubts in your mind? Like, oh my God, what's
absolutely.
Tell us
absolutely.
I know there's a lot of people out there listening and going, how do you know that it's not your imagination and it's happening? Do you know, like, define the differences between the voice in your head and what you are really meant to be listening?
Absolutely. So for me, and this is where animal communication has helped me so much, is you come to learn the real nuances in your body for what a yes is and what a no is. And we kind of ignore that in our everyday life because society tells us to be polite, or we've always been around people. And even though we feel a certain way, we'd rather make sure that that person's okay. And that works to some degree. But when it's a hell yes, and oftentimes, especially with animal communication, and you would know with your mediumship as well, when it comes out of nowhere and your logic mind couldn't possibly have come up with that sort of answer, then you absolutely know that. And what I do with my, when I've got my workshops on, I actually get people to, I get the person in front. So I have the person in front, and then I have a person behind them with their hands on their shoulders. So this is in person, obviously.
Yeah.
And I get the person in front to conjure up a time, a place, a situation where they feel it, relive it. It can be good, it can be bad, it can be fun, it can be, but it's got to have an emotion attached to it. And the people behind have their hands on their shoulders. So there's no body language, there's no facial recognition. And they've just got to intuit into what that person is sending and they're receiving. And from that, we kind of learn how people are receiving information, because every single person receives it differently. And some receive images, some receive feelings, some receive the video that kind of tells you what's going on. And of course, when you work with it over time, you can make those other ones stronger if you want to as well. Like, that's absolutely an ability in its own right. So, but there'll always be one or two fundamental ways that you're already intuiting the world around you.
And it just happens naturally.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about just, okay, for instance, okay, that happened to you. You don't go around saying, okay, I want to work with just animals. I want to do this as well. Do you think stick to your strength or explore? Do you know what I mean? Because I know that when I was developing, I thought I needed to know about crystals. I mean, it is important that we know about crystals, but I thought I needed to do all these things, and I went crazy. Did you know what I mean? Did that happen to you?
100%. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The thing is, naturally, crystals have come to me. So, and I realize that isn't your exact point at all, but yeah, absolutely. But then I also realize when things aren't my modality as well. But with the psychic medium work, I once had a person literally use my body to speak to someone. And I've also had
trance, right? Like a trance? Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And it happened to be an ex-partner of mine, and it was so full on. And he'd been to all sorts of psychics and for 7 years trying to communicate with his father. And this one day it was just like, whoop, and off it went. And so, yeah, there's been a lot of that sort of happen over the years. But now so if I'm tuning into an animal as well and somebody wants sort of a health scan, I can feel in my body where the animal is feeling discomfort. And I want to say really loud and clear, no medical advice. That's not what I'm qualified in at all. But I can absolutely.
Thank you for clarifying that. That's really important. Yeah.
100%. Like, some people can get a bit carried away and no, I'll always be humble.
And diagnose, so you need to do this, you need to do that. We are not practitioners. Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all.
Good. So, okay, so talking about the scanning, go on.
Yeah, so that Reiki has helped me with that so much. And so when I think that we are, as a species and all the other species, in huge tuning forks. So we're picking up frequency and vibration all the time. And so when I'm tuning into an animal, and I usually use photos unless I'm with the animal in person, and And I can feel the discomfort in my body. I can feel sort of where, and that kind of information can really help the guardian make choices going forward, like with solutions, strategies. Quite often, just the most random things come to me when I go, oh, this is sore, and then I get dragon's blood, and I'm like, what the hell's that? So quite often, to answer your previous question as well.
And that thought is when you're conscious, obviously, you're not there at all. It's you let go of your own thoughts, wham, bang, it's through.
And it's pure channeling.
Trust it. You got to trust that thought, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And you've got to trust that, but like to know the yes and the no. I'd never heard of dragon's blood. There was one case where I'd heard of witch hazel. I had no idea what to do with it, but this dog had a hot spot on it this big, and so dragon's blood and witch hazel came through, and within like a week it was like growing hair back. It was better. It was
what is dragon's blood? I know it's an oil, but
yeah, no, actually it's the resin from a tree over in the Amazon.
Oh wow! See, I didn't know.
Yeah, so, and that's what it's like. How would I know what that is?
I know, right? Oh, wow. Donna, that's so beautiful.
Absolutely.
Now, you said something about, you've always had this, and I've seen your page, your work page, and when you put things up. I love horses. Now, I know you love all animals, but I want to ask you, because I want to ask you about fishes and stuff like that too. Yep. Horses. Is it like Mr. Ed?
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. The funny thing is, every single animal, and especially horses for that matter, have a really unique character to them, much like we do. So with the horses, though, I find, and I hope you don't mind me swearing, it's in context, they don't take no shit from anyone. Like they've got a really good understanding of who's faking it and who's not. And so they'll happily let you know. And quite often when you see people around horses and they're talking big game, it's often a really good idea to have a look at how the horses are reacting to them. And one beautiful, beautiful horse story is when I was over in New York, in upstate New York, in Catskills with Kathleen. So it was an animal sanctuary. And we had these Appaloosan horses, and they had no eyes, like no eyes whatsoever. And we were spending this particular day doing Reiki, but we weren't talking. So there was no sound. But these horses were way up in the paddock. And as soon as we started doing Reiki, they came directly towards us, turned around, presented their bottoms, and the Reiki commenced. And I was like, oh my Lordy. And horses love Reiki, like they lean into you, and donkeys as well for that matter, if you want to put them in the same category.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. And
there was so much to it, because I used to be scared of horses, and I did stay for a while at a girl from Spirit Church, and she said I could stay there for a bit, and she's got horses all over. Okay, so she's a horse. She's got a school horsing riding school, and I slowly started going there, and it's like they knew I was a psychic medium. They started coming to me, and I'm like, I'm good. I felt peace, and then I started noticing the different characters between horses.
Absolutely.
If I call one, they'll look at me and they'll start coming, and I think I lost that fear. I think I was scared of the big nostrils and eyes and big mouth, but they are so gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah. My one of my friends, and she was helping me out as an assistant as well. We were scouting out properties to go and, put workshops on. And we went to this beautiful property, and we knew there were going to be horses there. But we had no idea what type. We had no idea how many. And we sat down in the paddock, and that's why I said, let's ground ourselves. There were 38 miniature horses all came up to us, like 38 miniature, because coming over the hill, and it was like, how many are there? And like when you're
Yeah.
sitting on the ground, it was quite an epic sort of situation, that's for sure.
The other thing I was going to ask you, what about seals or... All right, let's talk about fish. What's going on there?
Gosh, yes. One of my all-time favorites. So when I was very, very young, I used to dream of dolphins all the time. So when I say very young, I was under 5, and I used to speak in tongues, and I used to sleepwalk, and I always spoke about dolphins. So since then, I've now gone to Hawaii twice, and one of those adventures was swimming with the dolphins every day, and then we got to swim with sharks and manta rays and everything as well. And what I want to say is those dolphins, we got to spend time with nearly 100 dolphins every day. And in one particular instance, this dolphin literally asked me to turn on my side, and so I did. And she was belly to belly with me and just sonared me up and down. And I had goosebumps under the water, and it was such a healing moment. And what was beautiful about them as well, they hang out in pods, but you've got the mother group. So you've got the little babies that are the size of a loaf of bread that are suckling from their mums because they're mammals. They're mammals. And then you've got the teenage boy dolphins. Now, this is going to be a bit rude, but it's truthful. It's like a bucks night, and they're having sex with each other, and they're just swooning along. You can feel their energy as they're coming up on you. It's like, wow, dolphins.
I love it. And they look so innocent, but you know what? That is innocent what they're doing.
They're so intelligent. Wow. When they surround you, you're in another world completely, like you're in a trance at every level, but it's almost like they're giving you downloads at the same time. And by that, I mean energy, but I just mean information as well. I sort of came home from that trip just going, what just happened? And it's part of the reason I live on the island now. And turtles, I'm really passionate about turtles as well. But do you know what was funny? When we did a week-long animal communication intensive with P. Horsley on the Sunshine Coast, we went swimming every day, and we met with a school of fish. And the friend I have with me at the time, she's gone, I wonder if fish can talk. And I went, I'd imagine they can. And we just spoken the day before, or listened. That's another thing too. It's more about listening than speaking. But we met this little guinea pig called Trevor, and he was awesome. And one of the things he showed me is he was eating celery, and then I literally saw poo just go out the back. And when I said that, the lady went, oh my God, he doesn't eat celery. All the other guinea pigs do. And he's like, I don't want to eat the celery. So why I'm saying that is when we were in the water, I said, I wonder if he knows Trevor, you know, all the interconnected and this fish. So I heard in my head, I am Trevor, you are Trevor, we are all part of the same thing. And I just went, holy crap. And because I was being a bit silly at the time too, I admit it. And we just come from like being under the water where we heard a mother whale and a calf as well. So, and that was just, that opened our heart.
That would have been, you know, my partner for my birthday brought me whale watching, and we went to New South Wales. I can't remember that little town because I'm not very, I lose my mind very easily. Anyway, so we went there. We did see whales, and they always get emotional, but we didn't see them close enough. Have you ever seen them that close? Okay. I'm jelly now, but in a good way.
They call the whales the record keepers of the planet. And so in their DNA and and if you notice, like they're smudging the whole planet all the time. And when we were killing them and using them, like they're really precious beings, and all the animals on the planet are helping us heal, especially in these times. Wow. So showing them a little bit more respect and seeing them for who they are. When you see an animal for who they are, you see a 360 perspective of who they are. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
So it's pretty much talking to them telepathing like you do with humans, correct?
Absolutely.
Because like I've got my dogs, obviously, and then, you know, cats, whatever. And the funny thing is that out of nowhere, sometimes they all play with each other and then they stop. And
Yep.
I'm thinking, all right, they've organised that game. Do you know what I mean? And then
Oh,
they got
absolutely.
tired, so they stop. And then I hear, and I don't hear animals, but I imagine that one of them, which his name is Jimmy, it used to be my ex-partner's, my fiance who passed away, as you know. It used to be his dog, Jimmy, and I still have my beautiful Jimmy. He's getting old.
Oh,
Jimmy acts innocent, and he makes the younger one do all the shit for him. And he sits there with his eyes saying, good boy. And we just laugh. You know what I mean? The character, because the other one is like, you know, all over the place, and he gets into trouble, Jimmy goes, do you know what I mean? Like,
100%, yes.
I feel like he sends Toby to go and do shit for him. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Is that how they communicate, these dogs?
Absolutely, absolutely. And see, that's the beauty of animals as well, is they've got the ability to communicate without words. So sometimes we think that they need to speak in words for us to understand them, but they actually just need to change their frequency and vibration. And when you mention the animals playing together, one of them, like, this is how I used to see it. I worked at a pet resort for a while, and you'd see one sort of almost like a glowworm light up, and then the rest of them would go, oh, I might have a go. Oh, I'll have a go. And it's also a way to get rid of their excess energy. Like, it's actually a part of how they're built as well. Like, that's how animals sort of process their when they've got too much energy. But as you well know, I've got Dora, who's now 12 years young, and she's got a new stepbrother, Dougie Ra, who's, we think, about 3-ish, and she gets him to do stuff all the time. And I'm well aware who's the brains of the outfit. That's for sure. Yeah,
that is amazing. Another question that a lot of people ask: do dogs sense spirit when they are around? Do they go? Can you explain that to us? Because I people ask: can the cat see spirit? Can the dog see spirit? What's your thought on that? What's your answer?
Absolutely. Yeah, they 100% can, because quite often I've been in the middle of doing a reading and I'll go, oh, and this can be really sad and confronting sometimes, but the animals themselves show me a little child in spirit, or they show me a grandparent in spirit, and they want to reassure their guardians, their owners, that they're still around as well. So they absolutely do. And what I would say, like, when it comes to end of life for our animals, they don't see it as an end of anything. They purely see it as a walking through the veil and a transition. So they also, like, it's just on different. Yeah, sorry.
I am sorry. When you said that, I straight away thought, is that why cats run away when they are passing over?
They can do, yeah, for sure, because they quite often, some humans want either to extend their life, and they actually want to choose to transition in their own time, in their own space. And, you know, cats for sure, absolutely. Cats in their own way, if I was going to generalize, and I don't like doing it, but cats are incredibly, what's the word? They speak their mind very, very much. Like, I've never met too many pushover cats in my time. And they really, but when cats run away in general, and animals in general too, to some degree, sometimes within their soul contract, they're meant to meet a new person, if that's what they're what they're meant to do. Sometimes it's about the human being changing something, doing something different, and then when they've done that, so there's always some sort of soul evolution within what's going on. But cats in general, do go away to pass at times, and sometimes animals don't particularly want our medical intervention. They just want us to love them till their last days type of thing.
Because they know they're going back home. So
Yeah.
earlier we talked about you talking and you said they can see spirits. Do they smell?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work for dogs? Do they tell you, like they smell them? Do they feel them? Because I know we're all energy. Is it just energy? What is it?
I was going to say it's more frequency vibration, but when I sort of intuit into it further, and especially if the client or the person I'm reading for goes, but do you know who it is? And sometimes, I haven't mentioned this yet, I work with pendulums. So often, hang on, I'll bring the screen.
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, oftentimes I'll go, is it male? Is it female? And we can work it out that way. Sometimes they give me an image of what they would have looked like on Earth.
Okay.
But yeah, frequency and vibration. So not so much smell for people who have passed or animals that have passed. They sometimes play with animals that have passed as well. Like Dora, when her brother. Yeah.
Go on. Sorry. Go on.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say I had another dog that passed, and she opens my sock drawer. That's how I know she's been around. And opens my sock drawer. I'll come home, my sock drawer is just wide open. It's like, Edna. And my earrings. I'll have my hands at my side, my earrings fly out of my ears, and that's how they let me know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's amazing. What about, can they sense when people are falling sick? I'm asking you this because I had a client saying that her cat has gone to the other house across them because that man's not well. So when they're not home, that cat goes there all the time, and that sort of brought something for him to look after, but the cat's not well himself. So I'm thinking, okay, you got two not well people, and then you got the humans or energies. You got the human energy who's not well, and then you got the cat that's going to their house to spend time with him who's not well. So my question to you is, do they sense when someone's about to pass away or they're not well?
Absolutely they do. And what's beautiful about cats is when they purr, it's at a healing vibration. Like if you were to use a decimal reader, it's I can't remember the exact hertz, so I'm not even going to try in this moment, but it's the exact hertz of frequency, you know, when we play sound bowls and so forth.
Yes.
That's how they purr. So what they're doing is literally helping us with pain, and they're helping us our cellular structures heal. They're incredible master healers. Like, yeah. Cats in particular. Yeah.
Cats. Wow. Well, that's why they use cats in everything pretty much. You know, with my two chihuahuas, they used to do healing. They were pet healers for a bit, therapists, and they used to go to the nursing homes and they knew like who they needed to go to and who to stay away from, and they would go and just lay next to them.
Yeah.
But then there was another case where they would literally just start, licking them all over, but the reaction was totally okay and different. Is that part of the healing that you're talking about?
Absolutely, because what the beauty of working with animals as well is they want to be healed. They want their equilibrium to be right. So if I'm doing Reiki or if I'm working with them on a frequency level, if it's their journey to heal, they will turn it around real quick. But what we tend to do as humans is a lot of our stuff comes from emotional wounds and traumas and triggers from childhood and life and so forth. So we've quite often got that unexpected obstacle, and oftentimes animals come along and help us work through that. And how they can do that, especially when you meet people that have really been hurt and really kind of just don't want to interact with the human race. And absolutely. And you can bet your bottom dollar their connection with animals is brilliant. And you can bet your bottom dollar that those animals are doing some miraculous work, and they'll get to the point where they have to have a walk every day. So now the person's got to go out and speak to people. Like, so there's just what we've got to do for our animals actually helps us. And do you know, sorry,
I love it. No, sorry.
So another thing that's worth mentioning that blew my mind is quite often when when a human has an illness, the animal can get the same illness. And that in its own right. I've had asthmatic dogs with asthma puffers, full-blown asthma puffers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And diabetes in the animal and the person, and then heart stuff. And quite often it's how some people get caught up though, thinking that they've somehow passed their illness or their energy to that animal. But what I'd like to reassure is 100%. Yeah, it's valid. It's really valid. But in actual fact, some people will always put everyone else first and themselves last. And that's kind of how we operate sometimes. When it's your animal, you will read everything on the damn internet. You will pull every book out of your shelf. And if they've got the same illness, all of a sudden working with them, you go, oh, I might try a little bit of this too. So it's almost like by them doing that, you're helping yourself as well. So
it's a two-way thing. That's amazing. That's so magical. You know what? I wanted to ask you as well. With the other day, both of my dogs, they were playing, like they're very well trained. They're like humans. They walk next to you. They don't need to lead. Sit, come here. What do you want? Do you want water? Do you want this? I know everything. Okay. And they love Dan, my partner Dan. They love him. They adore him. And the other day, because he works from home too. So he works upstairs. There's another little office upstairs and I work downstairs. Anyway, they started out of nowhere chasing something, going up the stairs, going crazy, not with each other, chasing each other, something. We did end up working out who it was, but it took us 2 weeks because there were relevant evidence about things. Do you think that once they come around and they love that person, you know, whoever's playing with them, the spirit that's playing with them, do you think that spirit stays here, or do they just come to say hello? Do you know what I mean?
100%. What I would say to that is I feel like there's layers and levels where spirit is, if you will. And so I feel like they're sort of omnipresent to some degree, but I feel like they show their presence more strongly. It's almost like heavier in pixels, if you will, in frequency and vibration. And therefore the animals can interact because as far as they're concerned, they're right there. They're right there. So, yeah, absolutely. And quite often if I sort of sense something, I go, hang on a second, who is that? What is that? I sometimes get a smell. If it's someone I've known, animal or person, I'll get a smell associated with them, or I'll get if they hugged in a certain way, or if they had a cheeky joke or we had an in-joke, that's how I'll know it's them.
Say how it is. If they spill it out, or they keep going until it's out, then it moves forward. Yeah. That's
absolutely
amazing. You know, I had an experience. I do have animals that come, but I'm not. They just come through, and I just say, "I've got a bird. Did you guys own birds? Oh my God, yeah. Dad used to love budgies, for instance, or whatever." But that's about it today. I don't, you know. But one day I did have, I think it was a goose that came, you know, a goose. It was, and I just went, there is a duck here. I didn't say goose, a duck. And she's saying, thank you for looking after me. The woman cried her eyeballs out, and she's like, oh my God. We rescued that, and then she said to me, it was a goose. We rescued that goose, and we called it Frankie, and Frankie would follow us everywhere. And whenever he needed something, he would like wah, wah, under the arm, and that's exactly what he did. But that's the only thing of animals. And you're right about the talking and all that, but I thought, oh my God, how can a duck talk? And I said that to her, and I said, you're going to find this weird, but I've never spoken to a duck before, but he's saying, thank you, Mum, for looking after me. That's all I had to say. And I think it was like she just needed to hear that moment. She was really depressed for other things that happened. But just the duck coming up, it was like, oh my God, and I do know they come through, but we just name them. I've got a dog, he's just letting you know he's okay, but not to the level that you do with animal thing. Now, I'm going to ask you something. You said before, ever since I was young, you spoke to, and I'm going a little bit back because I didn't want to interrupt you because I'm really enjoying this. I hope you are too. This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And for the people who are listening, which is not many at the moment, but thank you, ask questions. Ask Donna anything about your pets. If you're, you want to ask her how she works, where does she work, and things like that. Just ask. You're here to do that. This is part of like a community little chat that we're having, and to our viewers, they're also part of this conversation. But
definitely,
you said earlier, you said two things. I'll first bring the first one that I went. I better let her explain. You said I used to speak tongue to the dolphins. We're talking about that. Can you explain people what the tongue is? You speak tongue.
Yeah, sure. And I only found out that I did that 5 years ago. So I was really little. And so what I would do is I'd wake up in a sleepwalking event, and I would literally speak in another language. And it was not a language that anybody recognized. And I apparently went for leather. Like I was like, blah, 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 blah. And then I'd walk outside and I'd be on a veranda, a balcony, and I'd be talking to these dolphins, and I'd be going for it.
Oh my God. And were they all coming to you while you were talking?
Absolutely. And what I've done since, and as I've become an adult, oftentimes if I dream of the dolphins, I'll wake up and I can taste salt water on my skin. Like, I know I've swam with these animals. I know that they've come to me. Pardon me?
You were probably a mermaid in your past life.
Yeah. Oh, if only I would love that. That would be my dream being.
So amazing, and swimming with them. Oh my God. Now, the other thing that you said was workshops. You said, and my workshops. Can you tell us what is it that you do with your workshops? Just break it down.
Cool. So we've finished our workshops for this year, but we'll have some more coming up next year, and we're going to be looking at new venues. And what you do with the workshops, they go for 1 day, normally about 6 hours, and you learn how you personally interpret intuition, how you do it. And then we bring in guest speakers, and by guest speakers, literally live animals. And you yourself actually ask them questions and get the responses, and the owner or the guardian. So it's really interactive, and straight off the bat, you're in there and you're doing things. So, and I've had some of the most unexpected clients or workshop participants have been men in their 60s, and I went, oh, I don't, they're the demographic. But the thing was, sadly, in a couple of those cases, they just lost an animal. So they were broken open with grief. And that made them so intuitive, and that made them so open-hearted, open-minded. They were brilliant at it. They were absolutely brilliant. And never, ever, ever have I had someone walk away that can't do it, like every single person. And then later in the afternoon, we actually read each other's animals off photos. So we learn to read animals that have passed or are still living. And by the end of it, you kind of want to go and read every animal that you meet. And some people do. And so they should.
And you start reading them. And you go, okay,
absolutely.
I love you too.
Absolutely.
I love it. So, so at the moment, you are based in Brisbane.
Yes, I'm Coochie Mudlow, but I still work remotely. So if you have a reading with me, it's over the phone or via video, which is just as strong and just as as an in-person reading. Like, it's just as full on, the same info comes through. And once again, with next year, I'm going to be heading into the expo circuits and so forth again as well. And yeah, just showing the love. And
everyone in one of those events. What do they call them again? Market event? No.
Yeah. There was marketers, expos. So
that's where we met. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. So because I was going to say, so we've kind of relocated this year up from Northern Rivers, so there were floods and all the rest of it, and so we're just kind of getting back on our feet. But once again, the animals have helped us so much. So every single time, and what I'd encourage people to do that are on the call and listen to this later is take a moment, sit in your backyard, center yourself, and ask, is there a message for me? And I kid you not, you'll get something. You'll get something, absolutely. Especially once again when you're open. Yeah.
Question, hands up, I've got it here. My beautiful Dan, partner Dan, the other day, and he filmed it. We don't know what bird it is. I'll send it to you later, okay?
Yeah.
It was just outside our house, our backyard. We've got a nice outdoor setting. And he was just there, and it's like a bird, like a peacock, but not a peacock, all right? And it had like a kiwi, but not a kiwi bird. It was in between, something like that. Anyway, long story short, he's intuitive too, Dan. He's a beginner. He's starting to understand, and he sees me when I do my work. And so he's catching up. So I said to him, wow, that's a blessing. That is a message from, that's what I wanted to talk to you. When an animal that comes, like you just said before, to you, a native bird animal, how do you see that as a spiritual aspect? Like when they come and visit you, say a magpie, we always get one in the morning that comes and says good morning in our balcony and then flies off. But this one stayed for a while, and he started filming it, and it had a different tone, the way he was, we're not very bird orientated people, but we love them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
What do you say to that, to people that they say, this bird just came to me out of nowhere? Do you believe that?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. So what we tend to refer to them as is totem animals. And one of the best books I would recommend getting is Stephen Farmer's Spirit Animals. And every So Steven Farmer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's so much information in, and quite often too, even though you can have the animals show up in person, you can have them show up in dreams. You can have them show up in somebody gives you a totem animal, and there's a message in all of that. And what I would say about the magpie, it literally represents balance. It's one of its big things.
Wow. That's amazing. Every morning he's probably telling me to balance, because I'm getting up like an old lady and now I need to balance. Do you know what I mean? Balance, Chantel.
Totally.
That's amazing. I love that. The other thing is that, in continuation to what I was telling you about this bird, just yesterday, the bird left a feather outside our house, and he found it and he picked it up. And I should bring it to you. It's in the kitchen. It is so beautiful. I'll send you a photo later. It is so beautiful. It is amazing. But next to the feather, and there is a plant that I call Liliana. All right, Liliana. She's my posh plant. She's my peace plant. The beautiful plant, and I call her Liliana. Do you want water? So I talk to my plants. I love them. Anyway, long story short, I did feel a presence when the dogs were playing, but we've been feeling her for a while, this person. Then I started seeing her, and I described her to him. I go, she's with you. She's with you. We worked out who it is. So he went through his little suitcase, and he found the photo of his grandmother that he didn't spend time with, because it's a long, sad story. My partner's mother abandoned him. So he grew up with his grandparents. But he never got to meet the father's side grandmother at a young age. He met her when she was a little bit older. And she said, I really pushed so much to see you when you were young, but your mother wouldn't let us, and things like that. And I want to see more of you, this and that. Then shortly after that, she passed away. Now, he found the photo. It's exactly the lady. She used to love animals, so she would have been playing with our dogs, right? And I feel that we were like, who is it? Who is it? You know, and all this stuff. The feather was next to my flower, my plant called Liliana, which is the lily, peace lily plant. And as he picked up the brochure with a photo of the mother, the grandmother was called Liliana, and the feather was next to the plant Liliana.
Right.
Of happiness, because I said, your grandmother is here. And for a while, I've been saying to him, we better go and visit your grandfather at the cemetery. And where do I feel it's around here? And he said, no, it's right at the back. Well, it's where the grandmother is buried. She's closer to the street. But we're going to go next week. We're going to go on the weekend. Now,
yeah.
Do you know what? That's why I said the birds, because this is so beautiful. You know, the bird kept coming and all these things. But the feather.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yes. And the name of the plant, like, yeah, everything is really, I think people, and when you acknowledge those moments, more of those moments come into your life. It's kind of like showing gratitude brings more gratitude. Like, so every time you acknowledge it rather than question it, even though a good amount of skepticism is healthy too. Like, you don't go into it. I love it. Yeah, you don't go into it going, and then it's like, no. It's kind of like you need to litmus test yourself all the time, if nothing else, just to make sure that your work and your heart stays honorable.
Absolutely. Like we call that grounded. Yeah, grounding and stay put, because you're
absolutely. Yeah,
we're employed by spirit for a purpose, and we all have it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you said that you're looking for a place to do your workshops. How do we find you? Can you give us more information for those people who want to do a course with you? Do you do internet courses or anything?
Yeah, I did one of those last year, so I'll definitely be putting on another one, possibly 2 next year as well. And they'll sort of be along the lines, and you can work with me one-on-one and do a VIP workshop if you don't particularly like the whole, because I just found there were a couple of people that sort of contacted me separately and went, I don't really want to do it in front of other people. Do you mind if so thank you for doing that. My website has everything, and any events that I'm going to and any workshops that are coming up in the future. However, anyone's welcome to email me as well, and that email address is within the website too. And I always have lists of people who are ready or want to know about the upcoming workshops and what have you. And as always, as you would know it yourself, there's a timing and everything. So when it's right, it'll work for them. But they do sell out quite quickly, and I tend to not have more than 10 people. 10 people, I max out at 10. So we can work with people and sometimes I do less. Yeah, but I think 10 people is personal enough, and yet it is really good to see other people's experience, because it just helps you get another lens and another perspective of how they're reading as well. And so if that comes to you at some point, you go, oh, right, that's what that is.
Yeah. That's good that we know all that, because a lot of people, and I've known, because I've saved animals before, buying them from the RSPCA. Animal cruelty, mate, that is just, you know what I mean? Do you visit the RSPCA? Do you do any, or did you used to, or do people,
Absolutely. So I used to visit some sanctuaries and also some like RSPCA kennels and so forth.
Yeah.
And what would come through there is quite often the animals themselves would know who their new owner or guardian would be, which was really cool.
Wow.
And oftentimes, like, it just shows me how incredible animals can be, that they to some degree sacrifice themselves in that situation so someone can learn a lesson from that. And sometimes it's about domestic violence, sometimes it's about, but what's really important in those moments as well is to remember that animals always do have free choice to some degree. So, but we as human beings bloody need to take some responsibility and get a little bit more savvy. And
out there for people who are thinking of buying an animal.
Well, that's it, because you're not just purchasing a garden ornament. You're literally purchasing something that is a living, thriving human being. And like yourself, you can give yourself your best life, or you can really make them miserable. And one thing I will say, though, that I really sort of have changed my mind about over the years is when people do have to rehome their animal for whatever reason, I think that we need to lay off them a little bit and not give them as much vitriol and not sort of condemn them. Like, not if they're serial people that do that, hell yes. But I think that what we need to understand is sometimes animals come and they're meant to have 2 or 3 different humans. That cat that you spoke about that went to 2 different houses, they'll completely organize their own sort of schedule and their own people. Yeah. And sometimes you are just a conduit to their proper place as well. Yeah. So oftentimes that's where...
Yeah. You know, and you say that, it just, a little light went on. My daughter's got 2 cats that she needs to rehome them, and she's crying. She's brought them up. Her hay fever has hit, you know, just dramatically bad. But now my grandson that you saw when we were testing this, now he's got hay fever. So she's really brokenhearted because they are not cats. They're like little humans and they walk around.
Absolutely.
But they started misbehaving and weeing everywhere. Is that a sign of they want to move out, they want this? They're weeing and pooing in places they've never done that before. And they're beautiful cats. I remember them from babies. And I'm confused. Is this because when she got pregnant that they started misbehaving? Because that's when she noticed the pattern. The minute she felt pregnant, the cats were weeing on her clothes, on the bed, and doing things, you know, that they've never done before. And she still has had them still, it was like my grandson's nearly 8 months, and they're still trying different things, trying. But it got to a point that now my grandson has hay fever. Why do you think they had that turnaround?
Well, quite often it naturally is time for the animals to move on. And oftentimes when an animal pees in unexpected places, and definitely where it's like, oh, come on, man, they literally are pissed off. Like it really is part of what, sometimes it can be medical. Very rarely is it though. Like it nearly always.
They're very like that. Like they're all D6. They've got all their vet stuff. They did go to the vets. They were on marijuana tablets, but for animal. So they've tried a lot of things.
Absolutely. And I think too, sometimes when we've got to do the rehoming, there's a life lesson, there's a soul evolution for us about letting go. And that's what I'd say as well about the whole rehoming thing is what you can do as a previous guardian, their previous owner, is just say, I wish you well, and I know you'll go with love, and I know you'll find the right people. And sort of letting go with your whole heart.
Yeah, with love. Yeah.
Can be really, really helpful. Yeah. And oftentimes too, especially if the little one's being affected, and obviously your daughter too, like it comes a moment when it's just untenable. And so that's understandable.
It doesn't sense.
It doesn't mean anyone's failed either. A lot of people go, oh, you know, you could do better. You could take hay fever tablets.
Well, they feel bad. They feel they're abandoned. They feel bad. They feel guilty.
No.
They're feeling it, you know. And the cats are probably saying, for fuck's sake, we're pissed off. We want to be with an older person.
and it's kind of like seeing them for the master healers they are and going, thank you, Yoda.
Yes.
we understand and we'll adapt accordingly. Yeah.
Donna, thank you so much. Our time has come up. Muchas gracias in Spanish. Thank you very, very much.
Yes.
And I so appreciate you. You are a beautiful person. And maybe one day when I go visit Myra, who's been watching us, Myra Anderson, I might come and say hello to you at the island. I know a few people at the island, so
yes, absolutely
together and catch up with everyone. I wish you all the best, guys. You can catch Donna, our beautiful Donna, on her website. Everything she has spoken will also be in YouTube. So we're going to say bye to you now, Donna, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you so, so much, darling. Thank you. How beautiful is she? I tell you what, she always, I would love, I mean, all the people that have been here are amazing. And I want to continue talking, but I'm like, oh, hang on, it's been an hour and 3 seconds. Give him a break, Chantel. Listen, you can find Donna on this beautiful website here that you can see right now. She does workshops. She does private readings as well. She'll even come to your property and see your animal, depending where you are. Unless you're in Perth, maybe pay her the tickets and the hotel, okay, and the food and whatever she wants, because she's worth it. Guys, if you want to catch up, please visit my YouTube. It's Psychic Medium Chantel Miranda, and you can replay this and hear everything, what Donna and how Donna works with animal intuitive. See you guys next week. Next week, I've got the amazing little Rhonda Kelly, and you'll see the ads up. She actually holds up a beautiful talking about events. She does beautiful events around Australia, and it's called the Ocean Wings events by Rhonda Kelly. She actually works with me on Psychic TV International. And in saying that, you can also find me in Chameleon New Age Salon at the Gold Coast. So if you want a private reading, I'm not an animal reader, but I am a psychic medium. So I do see people that who are somehow connected to you. And if you just want a reading, intuitive reading as well. Well, I better let you go. It's Friday night. Go and have a good rest, everybody, and have an awesome weekend. Take care. Thank you. Bye.